Thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguele. The unfolding political drama at the Rivers State House of Assembly is having a ripple effect on other sectors of the economy amidst calls on well-meaning citizens to intervene. Kingsley Amajiri reports that activities at the state judiciary was equally paralyzed today as a result of the fallout of happenings at the assembly.
Those that voted in favor of the removal of Edo State as the majority leader of this house, 23, abstention nil, against nil. By that result, Edison Ehe is now removed as the majority leader of the Rivers State House of Assembly in line with our standing orders.
The removal of the leader of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Edison Ehe, sparked protest by pro-Governor Siminalayi Fubara's loyalists towards the State House of Assembly complex. They were, however, resisted by men of the Nigerian police who released tear gas and gunshots into the air to scare away the protesters. Moments later, Governor Siminalayi Fubara arrived at the Rivers State House of Assembly complex to inspect the burnt chamber.
I had some people gathered here to do whatever. That is purely rubbish. Purely rubbish. Yes. You cannot sit when there is a problem and you say you're doing anything. What are you doing? I'm the chief security officer. I'm the head of the government. Yes. This person that should come, declare the place, and create an alternative place for assembly to sit. So whatever action that is taken here is null and void.
Of course, the incident at the State House of Assembly affected activities here at the Rivers State Judiciary. We reliably gathered that the courts couldn't sit today.
But whatever it is, I don't think that it will degenerate to this point where it will not affect the businesses of innocent people who are going about their normal daily activities. You can see the court premises is deserted for fear that there might be a reprisal attack or something.
I do not know what is so serious that it will now degenerate to a point of where it would affect the business of the State House of Assembly, would also affect the judiciary, in fact the entire state and its economy.
Keen observers want the security agencies to be professional in handling the unfolding political crisis so it does not degenerate. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
All right, that was packaged earlier by our correspondent Kingsley Amajiri. So we join him live now to give us more update on the Rivers State House of Assembly following the chaos we've seen, all the drama, you want to put it, happening there. Kingsley, I'm sure you can hear me very clearly. So please fill us in. What's the situation at the moment?
Well, the political drama is unfolding by the hours. Beyond what earlier on happened, we reliably gathered that the group that earlier on removed the leader of the House of Assembly has also went another step further by directing the clerk of the State Assembly to serve the governor impeachment notice. And while that is unfolding, another group loyal to the governor met and impeached the Speaker of the House of Assembly and the Deputy Speaker of the Assembly, and went also further to remove the Chief Judge of the state, directing the governor to appoint an acting Chief Judge in place of the Chief Judge that have been removed. These are interesting developments that are taking place in Rivers State since today.
Kingsley, following that removal, from your report earlier, you said that activities at the state judiciary was on hold, and also it affected, some economic activities in the state. But how are citizens there, residents in Rivers State, taking the whole situation?
Well, a good number of them who spoke earlier on has called for action from well-meaning Rivers citizens, especially the elder statesmen. They are calling on them to wade into the crisis, given that Rivers State has witnessed similar incidents in the past, that it should not be allowed to degenerate. And also there are spirited calls on the security agencies to be apolitical in the management of the current crisis. In the meantime, why the activities have been affected at the courts, even the Port Harcourt local government area and other government facilities within that axis of the Port Harcourt, they were all shut down. The security operatives directed people that are within those areas to leave the area in order to ensure that they maintain law and order. Beyond that, the other parts of Port Harcourt have remained calm, even as people gather together to discuss this emerging political development, while also calling for caution among the political gladiators.
Thank you very much, Kinsley. Please go find a safer place to keep yourself. So sorry for the rain there. Thank you for the update.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. All right, let's turn to other issues. President Bola Tinubu has renewed confidence in his Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, despite what the president described as a campaign of calumny on his personality. This was while declaring the Monday's Federal Executive Council's meeting open. The president was apparently reacting to an online media report alleging the Chief of Staff of misconduct.
I have absolute confidence on the integrity of my Chief of Staff. All the issues all campaign of calumny and insinuations should stop. The buck stopped here. If there is
In another development, State House correspondent Musbahu Danwahab reports that the president received the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz over the weekend, which he described as a huge success. This is the first meeting after the president won the final case on his election at the Supreme Court, and members of the council, led by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, who congratulated the president on his victory.
This is a demonstration of implicit trust, and he deserves a resounding commendation and standing ovation. Members of the Federal Executive Council and everyone in the council chambers, for all these positive attributes of leadership, victorious political battles laced with principles, legal victory at the Supreme Court of Nigeria, economic victory on the P&ID matter, and for the implicit trust in us as cabinet members. And now request you all to rise to a resounding round of applause to this resolute leader.
The candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the February 25, 2023 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar, says he will not leave the political arena after the Supreme Court's verdict of October 26, 2023 that affirmed the victory of President Bola Tinubu. This was at a joint press briefing with the leadership of the PDP at the party's headquarters in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The PDP presidential candidate in the 2023 general election and the leadership of the party had promised to wait for the outcome of their pleas to the Supreme Court. The Apex Court last Thursday affirmed the victory of APC and its candidate, President Bola Tinubu. This, the candidate believes, is not the end of the journey, as the former vice president says he remains in the field with his political shield remaining up and strong. Atiku Abubakar promised to continue to work for the return of political and economic restructuring, which he says the country needs.
In life, we sometimes face challenges and disappointments, but that should not deter us from pursuing the overall objective of our great party, the PDP. I therefore want to appeal to all members here and elsewhere to have faith and confidence in this great party.
Acting National Chairman of the PDP, Umar Damagum, said the party is not deterred by the outcome of the Presidential Election Petition Court, which the Supreme Court laid to rest.
And I call on all PDP members across the country that we are resolute.
He assured that the PDP is set to reinforce its commitment towards future electoral victory. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Acting Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetekun has assured journalists covering the Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi governorship elections of their safety. The IGP and the Chief of Defence Staff, General Christopher Musa, gave the assurance at a consultative meeting on election security with the National Security Advisor and INEC Chairman on Friday.
Accredited journalists will be protected and will be accorded everything that they deserve during this election. So they have no fear, nothing to fear about this election.
Every Nigerian, we're sure, is tired of elections with violence. And this, we intend to make it different. We want to do things differently. We want, at the end of it, every Nigerian should be proud, first to be a Nigerian, first to understand that elections are now free and fair. We want everybody who wins an election should be happy that he won, and he won very well without any intimidation. Thank you.
And more from the electoral scene. It is 1 year to the Edo 2024 governorship off-cycle election, and aspirants are already laying the grounds ahead of the primaries. This time, women are not shying away from the contest, and one of them is Victoria Omwa Amu, who has picked a ticket with her declaration to run for the #1 position in Edo State. Ekene Ndulwe will fill us in on that.
It was an evening with the people of Onwa West local government area of Edo State. An opportunity for a social contract between the people and the governorship hopeful. Victoria Omuamu is interested in picking the ticket of the APC for next year's governorship election, but believes it is right to first inform her people. She came prepared, and her framework strategy and plans for her people formed the basis of discussion for the evening.
Management of infrastructure, human capital development, our education, our hospitals have been relegated to the back. So for me, it's an advocacy. It is something that I have to do to be able to rescue my people.
At a time when women participation in politics is on the decline, her supporters say it is time women changed the narrative.
There can never be a time that they would let us or they would give it. So it is time for us to get up as women and take power.
When we see women like Victoria Amu, who is really competent, we have no shame, we have no problem, we have no hindrance.
Victoria Omwa Amu is from Sabongida Ora, Onwa West local government area of Edo State, an occupational therapist by profession, a humanitarian, and recipient of several merit awards in her line of duty. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
Right, let's look at the environment. Flood management is one of the crucial ways of curbing perennial flooding in the country. This can only be achieved through deliberate policy frameworks and strategic infrastructural provisions to tackle flood disaster. In this report, our correspondent, Larry Aguele, takes a look at flood management in Lagos.
Experts say, considering the peculiarities of Lagos State in terms of population, topography, its coastal nature, proper planning and provision of infrastructure are crucial in order to prevent and limit devastations. Other factors include checking environmentally degrading human actions, such as ignoring urban planning and critical environmental requirements when building. Effective waste management and awareness campaigns are also pertinent. Some environmentalists advocate stringent enforcement of environmental laws.
For people to manage their environment very well, or as we say, learn to live in harmony with nature. Since they have refused to do that, there should be measures to deter them from doing the wrong things.
Another critical cause of flooding in Lagos is the release of water from the Oyo Dam, which causes untold hardship on communities along the Ogun River that flows through Ogun State into Lagos. Although the Ogun Osun River Basin Authority, right from January, this year has been gradually discharging water to reduce the volume released at once. The intensity of runoff water into Lagos in September has inundated communities. In Lagos, Larry Bileyi, NTA News.
Not a pleasant situation there, and Larry is standing by live this time around. He wants to give us more information regarding the situation in Lagos when it comes to flooding. Larry, please go ahead.
Thank you, Ruth. From that report, that's where we're going to start. We've gone around the communities here at Odogun. And you can see, if you look at me very well, we roll up our trousers to walk around the water, and it's devastating here. Now, I said in that report that the Ogun Oshu River Basin Authority decided to release the water from the dam gradually. They staggered it throughout the year. But the one they released 2 weeks ago, and this is the result. This is the result you're looking at. So I have with me here Mr. Ibrahim Faniloye from NEMA, who's been monitoring the situation here. Mr. Ibrahim, with the management, with what Ogun River Basin Authority did to stagger the release of water from the dam, this is what we've got. Where do we go from here?
Well, the proactive measure carried out by the management of Osun River Basin on the Onyo Dam is highly recommended, and we can give them pass mark over this. Most of the community affected, all the communities affected are flood-prone area, and sensitization and awareness creation have been carried out year in, year out. Why the volume of water in this last phase of the release is like this was due to the volume of rainfall that occurred between the last 2 months. In our discussion, I told you that the dam had been releasing gradually series of volume of water from January till now. And based on the current one, you will see between July, August, and September, the volume of rainfall was very, very high. And to save the lives and property of everybody, they have to release what they released. And sensitization campaign had commenced 3 weeks before the release started.
Mr. Ibrahim, with all that, look at, this is what we've got. Is there a way, are you trying to say that there's no way this place would not be without water being flooded the area?
We said people should not build on floodplain areas. They should avoid floodplain. And if you want to build, there are measures to be carried out. So it's a disaster risk reduction is a bottom-up policy. When you have information, go by the information. By refusing to obey or to align yourself with the current situation, which is the climate change, you will see the type of rainfall that we have been having. Instead of it to spread itself, I didn't think the rainfall has been spreading itself the way it should be. We may not have this. We can only work on what we have. Rainfall cannot be predicted. I mean, the way it will come is predicted. We're going to have exceptional rainfall, but how it came, we cannot determine it. So we need to work with what we are having. And what we are having, thank God, on this release, nobody has lost his life, and no single property have been more or less lost by collapse.
What's NEMA planning for this community in terms of
soccer? I have been discussing with them. Well, soccer is left. The federal government will decide. NEMA is doing the right thing to do. It's not only providing relief materials. Saving of lives and property is priority anywhere in the world. Providing soccer is the next stage. So the soccer, whether it will come, I am not the authority.
All right, Mr. Ibrahim, I understand you. Well, that's the time we have for you right now. And I hope we've been able to convince you about what is going on at Odogun area. I guess Ingino is standing by in the studio. Ingino, heads up.
The gridlock and other unwholesome experiences of motorists on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is now a thing of the past as construction works on one of the busiest interstate routes nears completion. Joel Pupola reports that Minister of Works Dave Umahi traveled on the route to assess the level of work to keep pace with the deadline for completion.
Hope of each free vehicular movement is now a reality on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, even as the project is approaching its last lap. Plying the road, which was hitherto a nightmare for motorists, is now a jolly good ride, according to motorists, thus reducing travel time.
Of course, government is working, the roads are being improved, but there's a lot of improvement. I'm sure by the time they are done with the project, then the access to Mowe and out will become freer.
It not be like before. Actually, from toll gate here, it's still okay.
The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, is in Lagos as part of efforts to sustain this trajectory and to increase the pace of work to meet up with projected time frame for completion. The minister, who had a hitch-free ride while assessing the road, assured that the federal government is committed to addressing some of the teething problems of infrastructure in Lagos and other states.
And I want to thank Mr. President, the National Assembly for, looking at this infrastructure strategically. Lagos remains the financial, capital of our nation, and we have a lot of national infrastructure here that is part of our, GDP. So we can't neglect it.
Motorists are hopeful that with the pace of work, the contractor will meet the deadline. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
Turning to health now, the mouth is said to be a mirror to one's health, as oral health gives an idea of the overall well-being of a person. Apart from giving one a sparkling smile, fresh breath, and healthy gums, good oral health has the potential of reducing risks of many systemic health problems, such as cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and rheumatoid arthritis. In this report, correspondent tells us the connection between oral and general health. The mouth is the gateway to the entire human system. As such, maintaining good oral health is important. What may look like a minor oral problem can cause damage to other parts of the body. That is why medical experts advocate regular oral checks. So, how often do people check their oral health?
To be honest, not often, if I'm being honest.
I've not really checked it for a very long while now, but I make sure my mouth is very, very clean.
I don't really pay much attention to it.
The World Health Organization's 2022 Global Oral Health Status Report reveals that oral diseases affect close to 3.5 billion people globally, with 3 out of 4 affected people living in middle-income countries, including Nigeria. This is worrisome as medical experts link oral health to general wellness.
A lot of the diseases we have in the body can be diagnosed from the mouth. First from the mouth. Once we see it in the mouth, we can tell what this is and which of the systems it can be leading to. So if you have good oral hygiene, you are probably going to be able to either prevent or identify any of the diseases of the body early.
All the organs in the body, they work. So the moment one is diseased, you can imagine if somebody has oral cancer. There are many possibilities. Once it is not taken care of early, they are going to have metastasis to the lung, to the other system in the body.
Creating adequate awareness on the importance of healthy mouth, experts believe, will help in addressing problems associated with oral health issues, which will translate to the general well-being of people. In Lagos, Henginu. Those are the reports from Lagos. Nationwide continues with Anwuli in Benin after this break.
Just strengthen my resolve to do more. A challenge of this nature and a future of this nature is more work and more hard work, more dedication. Just appeal to the sense of patriotism of Nigeria to have a change of mindset, Let us be positive about our country, be ready to contribute in all ways possible. There's no promise of El Dorado from day one. We're all in this boat of diversity, a member of the same family, living in the same house, but staying in different rooms. And it is important that we recognize that we have no other country but this one.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, CON, invites honorable ministers, presidential aides, federal permanent secretaries, and top government functionaries to the 2023 Cabinet Retreat with the theme, Delivering on the Renewed Hope Agenda. Date, Wednesday 1st to Friday 3rd November 2023. Time, 9 a.m. Venue, State House Conference Center, Presidential Villa, Abuja. Registration starts on Monday 30th October 2023 by 2 p.m. at the State House Conference Center, Presidential Villa, Abuja. This event is strictly by invitation. Announcer, Richard Filangwa, Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
I'm fascinated with the discourse on national monuments and assets and how much is being done to preserve and
look into the language issue. We have turned English to become like a pride value in our own cultural values.
It's not cash transfer. It's not a COVID-19.
Invasion 1897 was a deliberate
many of these people coming to the urban areas now.
And applications, there are terms and conditions that
of course it is the union of two people, a man and a woman coming together.
My name is Nnamdi Odiko.
And I'm Elizabeth Omori.
For procurement of contract, partnership, promotion, publication, manufacturing, STBS, start times, lectures, ICT and training, production and sales, TV expos, events, local and international roadshows, exhibition, both local and international. We are at Area 11 Garkia, Abuja, opposite Abuja Geographical Information System, AGES, or visit our website www.ntatve.com.ng. Our social media platforms, Twitter at NTA TV Enterprise, Facebook NTA TV Enterprise, Instagram at NTA TV Enterprise, and these numbers on 070-3502-6056, 090-19557180.
One pass.
Turning over to Mateus Nunes, who looks to leave it for Holland! Who will try and take this on. Now a chance for Semenyo. Oh, it's brilliant!
Here he goes. Oh, it's a moment of quality for this new talent in the Premier League. His first goal for Manchester City.
SportyBet sponsors coverage of the English Premier League.
Welcome to Benin. The federal government is adapting to the ever-changing global employability demand by providing the needed skills for the nation's workforce to boost productivity. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, stated this at a workshop for skills development and certification officers in Benin. Jude Abugu has details.
The training, which aims at improving trade tests and certification procedure in the country, had the representative of the minister and controller of the ministry in the state stressing the importance of safety and continuous skills development amongst the nation's workforce.
It is just not of policy making, but this will assist us to have practical of it because it's going to be on the field work.
The director overseeing the office of the permanent secretary, represented by the deputy director skills development, Gabriel Olakunle, and other facilitators highlighted the opportunities skills development can create for workers to include broadening of their knowledge and attaining proficiency on existing skills.
skills development is the only way for us to overcome the challenges of unemployment and poverty in the country.
Skills training is the only thing that can drive the economy of Nigeria in the positive direction.
Participants commended the federal government and the facilitators for the opportunity.
The thing I'm going to take home is how to ensure that we improve on our skill training.
I'm going to have to discuss with my colleagues so that all of us can have deep knowledge of what this safety is all about.
The training will also expose the participants to Labour Act and the revised Trade Testing Code of Instruction. In Benin, Ruth Abuja, NTA News.
Of efforts to contain cultism and other vices among youths and students, Edo State Police Command says its campaign against cultism and other vices launched in the state will help fight criminal elements and bring them to book. The State Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Dankwara, stated this at the launch of the campaign in Benin. Eugenia Ndubisi has details.
Mohammed Dankwara at the launch says the campaign is aimed at sensitizing the public, especially youth and students, on the dangers inherent in cultism and other vices. He says the command is redoubling its effort at tackling the growing menace of cultism among youth and students.
With the aim and the objective of sanitizing members of the public on the dangers associated with cultism and other vices, and also to fight against criminal elements that make up various cult groups and bring them to book with the instrumentality of the law.
Presenting a paper titled A Menace and Threat to the Nation's Education and Economy, an associate professor of criminology, University of Benin, Emmanuel Imotinya Obaisabo, who disclosed that over 48 cult groups exist in campuses, canvassed the way forward.
If your father is a drunk, it does not mean you should be a drunk. If your father is into criminality, please, students, do not involve yourself in such.
You have to choose which way you want to go. Cultism is a menace anywhere, any day, across the world.
We should be really careful of friends we keep, and we should always make sure of our parental standards.
The initiative is a community-driven program in line with the tenets of community-oriented policing. In Benin, Eugenia Ndubisi, NTA News.
That's it from Benin. It's back to Ruth in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Anwuli. The federal government has made a fresh request to the United Kingdom for extradition of the former Nigerian Petroleum Minister, Desiani Alison Madueke. The report is said to be related to a $2.5 billion fraud involving the former minister who left Nigeria since 2015. Correspondent Hawa Yusuf reports from the Southwark Court in London, where another court sitting was held today.
It will be recalled that on the 2nd of this month, the former Nigerian Petroleum Minister, Desiani Alison Madueke, was granted a bail under surety of £70,000 before leaving a Westminster court in London. And further terms were imposed, which included an 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. And also she had to wear an electronic tag at all times. An informal interagency collaboration between the Nigerian EFCC and the UK's National Crime Agency are playing a pivotal role in the ongoing trial of Desiani Alison Madueke alongside two people, Pastor Agame Doye and Ayinde Olatimbo. However, the request by the federal government of Nigeria to extradite the former minister was not addressed at the hearing. Instead, a new date was fixed for another sitting on the 24th of February 2024. The court hearing today, presided by Judge Bowman Gardner, only lasted 15 minutes, where the accused person confirmed her name as Desiani Alison Madueke, and so did others in the case. Even though it is a high-profile case at the Southwark Crown Court, London, all efforts to get the counsels representing in the court to make a comment on the hearing was not successful. Instead, only one of them provided the next court sitting date for February, adding that it might take 6 to 7 weeks to determine how long it will take for the judgment. From London, Hawa Yusuf Funtua, NTA News.
And from London, we cross to the Oman, where we hear the gains on foreign investments from Vice President Kashim Shettima's visit to the United States recorded more increase as American company John Deere has resolved to set up a tractor assembly plant in Nigeria. The company's interest to invest in Nigeria's agricultural sector was made known during a meeting between Vice President Kashim Shettima and top officials of John Deere, led by its Vice President on Production Systems, Mr. Jason Brantley. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jabrila reports.
The interactive session facilitated by the chairman of Flour Mills of Nigeria, Mr. John Komantaros, with the investors. Vice President Kashim Shettima said Nigeria is committed to transforming agriculture as a pathway to tackling insecurity and improving the livelihoods of smallholder farmers, revitalizing the Nigerian agricultural sector to be self-sufficient in food production, mechanization, provision of fertilizer, agricultural extension services are key elements.
We are open for discussions, for conversation towards fast-tracking the whole process. My principal is very eager to see that the full potentials of the Nigerian agricultural scene is unleashed on the people. He has declared a food security emergency in August this year, fundamentally anchored on the fact that in the year 2021, we spent over $3 billion importing wheat. With all the volatilities in the world, we are vulnerable, we are exposed. We are the second largest importer of wheat in the world. So this is why we are putting in place mechanisms towards addressing those core challenges, and we cannot make much progress without mechanization.
A special agro-industrial processing zones project is designed to provide infrastructure, platform and framework for the private sector to add value to Nigeria's agricultural produce for the global community.
And seeing how we can double the crop output of the nation within the next 4 years by enhancing yield and using science to really drive agriculture forward in Nigeria.
So we were talking with His Excellency about John Deere's SMART campaign, where we focus on solutions that are specific for the needs of farmers in Nigeria, where we focus on mechanizing for yield improvement and better productivity, where we focus on access to finance to make agricultural equipment and technology more accessible. We focus on the reliability and the repair and the support that's necessary to keep agricultural equipment running. And we focus on the technology and the training to make it all work.
Mr. Brantley expressed the company's readiness to immediately engage relevant authorities in Nigeria with a view to actualizing the objective of establishing the assembly plant. From Des Moines in Iowa State, United States of America, Abdurrahman Jabrila, NTA News.
Yobe State Committee on Palliatives has intensified distribution of food and other essential materials to different categories of beneficiaries across the state. This is meant to add value on lives of those identified as most vulnerable persons. Yunus Suleiman reports that the target is to ensure that 400,000 households and clusters of indigents captured for the exercise across the 17 local government areas of the state are food secured.
Nigeria becomes the latest local government area to receive its own share of the palliative in the ongoing distribution, where more than 6,000 indigent and vulnerable households are being targeted in this largest humanitarian gesture in the state. And the model initiated and adopted by the State Palliative Committee in the ongoing distribution exercise is the type that promotes transparency and accountability, with stakeholders in Nigeria local government area giving their thumbs up to the exercise.
I know today many of our people, they will be jubilating because many people, they don't have what to eat today. But they were blessed with this rice, and they will be continue praying that more to come.
This is not the first time we have benefited from these the palliatives that the government of Honorable Mai Mala Buni has given out to us. Already he has done it several times.
Latest data obtained from the State Emergency Management Agency showed that 172,000 targeted beneficiaries from 12 local government areas of the state have so far received the palliative.
The local government is the 12th LGA we have visited in line with the renewal agenda of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of cushioning the hardship of vulnerable population during the trying period of subsidy removal. And as directed by His Excellency Governor Malabuni, the mass distribution component of the palliative should target the vulnerable, and it has to be directly distributed to the beneficiary.
The target of the exercise is to put smile on the faces of 400,000 vulnerable households and indigents, with the state committee assuring to leave no one behind. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA.
Right, following that initiative by the state government, let's expand and discuss. We join our correspondent again, but this time around live. I'm talking to Yunusa Suleiman right now. Yunusa, let's expand and discuss. So give us more information on that.
Thank you very much for joining us live in Damaturu, the Edo State capital. We are live from the headquarters of the Edo State Emergency Management Agency, a key agency or an agency that is saddled with responsibility by the State Palliative Committee to plan, distribute and monitor the distribution of the exercise. For the past 3 months, the committee through the agency has been up and doing in ensuring that the palliatives reach to the doorsteps of the targeted beneficiaries. Well, how far has it been? What are the challenges that the committee is confronting in the course of the distribution? For answers to this and many more questions, I'm being joined by the Executive Secretary of the State Emergency Management Agency, Dr. Mohammed Goje, who is key in the Palliative Distribution Committee. Doctor, thank you very much for joining us on News Nationwide.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, it has been about 3 months, for this rigorous exercise. So how far has it been? Nigerians would like to know how far has it been.
Thank you very much. In line with the renewal agenda of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of cushioning the hardship of the public during the subsidy removal regime, His Excellency Governor Malabuni ab initio directed the State Emergency Management Agency, even before the arrival of logistics and foodstuff from the federal government, to review our warehouse, to review our stocks, and see what we have to reach to the most vulnerable. We started with persons living with disability, which we know that they are the most vulnerable at that moment because they have to go out to motor parks and commuters to get food put on their table. And unfortunately, when you go to the motor parks, then there were not even bags enough chocolates of giving arms to the persons living with disability. So we reached persons living with disability, 1,500, we started from there. Then immediately the federal government commodities started reaching us in the state. We were among the first that received the commodities. We rolled out to action, we started targeting beneficiaries. And we have our procedures of doing it. One, we do community engagement. In the community engagement, we call on security agencies, political parties, stakeholders, all the gatekeepers of the community. We tell them this is the stock that we have, this is the ration that we give to each household, how do you want us to reach and support the household? They give us their guidelines depending on the communities, but most communities go house to house to register the most vulnerable. And some of them will do it through clusters of teachers, clusters of commuters, clusters of GSM workers, clusters of students. All of them, we bring them together and we distribute the items. For the mass distribution, we ensure that we give them directly hand to hand. And fortunately, in the first few weeks, the Edo State government, through the gracious approval of His Excellency Governor Malabuni, provided the resources and we bought enough commodities. So plus the one from the federal government, the one with the state, and the one that is ongoing at the local government level. Cumulatively, so far we have reached over 170,000 households out of the target of 400,000 households. And our ration is, depending on the household size, the minimum we give is 20 kilograms of either maize grain or rice.
Okay. So doctor, in a distribution exercise of this magnitude, there must be some challenges. So far, what are the challenges that this committee through your agency is encountering because of the distribution exercise?
Of course, there are challenges. Everybody is in their need, but we cannot reach everybody. but we'll make sure that we give to the most deserving. And His Excellency Governor Aguele has insisted severally that we must reach the most vulnerable. Recently, we increased our ration for the IDPs that have returned to their communities, and they are also in need and are also affected by the subsidy removal. And also another challenge is the slow in the phase of coming of the items. Of course, we know there are competing needs across the country, so Yobe State is not the only state that received palliative from the federal government. Of course, we have received at least over 12,000 bags out of the over 80 or 90,000 bags that we're expecting.
Okay,
so these are some of the few challenges that we're facing now.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed Goje. There's much we can take now. News Nationwide returns in Abuja after this break. Stay with us.
In line with its mandate to identify and cater for the needs of senior citizens in Nigeria, the National Senior Citizens Center (NSCC) is introducing the Continuing Engagement Bureau (CEB), an innovative initiative that recognizes the untapped potential of senior citizens and provides a one-stop interactive platform that connects senior citizens with opportunities to utilize their skills and expertise in meaningful ways. NSCC invites senior citizens to be part of a vibrant database of experienced professionals, technocrats, and artisans from various fields of endeavor ready to continue to contribute to community. Are you 60 years and above? Are you retired from the formal or informal sector? You can break free from loneliness and despondency and put your passion, experiences, and skills to use. Whether it's mentoring young professionals, sharing advisory insights, volunteering for community initiatives, or providing valuable consulting services, the National Senior Citizens Center Continuing Engagement Bureau (CEB) connects you to opportunities. Interested senior citizens are invited. Go to www.nscc.gov.ng/CEB to register and fill out your unique profile in area of specialization, years of experience, skills, and preferred area of service engagement on voluntary or contract basis. NSCC equally invites employers of labor, government NDAs, organized private sector, organizations, educational institutions, engineering, medical, pharmaceutical, consulting, manufacturing, agro and allied outfits who may wish to engage the services of qualified, experienced, skilled, and steady hands of senior citizens. Go to www.nscc.gov.ng/CEB to register and fill out your organization's requests. Take a leap today. NSCC, improving quality of life for senior citizens.
Voice on the corner. Full Taylor turned away. Second time of asking, touched it away.
High work defence, it works so well with Harry Kane. And there's Leroy Sané to finish it off.
Into the path now of Nico Schlotterbeck with a jet. Centre-backs don't score goals like that.
Sportybet sponsors coverage of the German Bundesliga.
Lukaku makes it 4 for Roma.
And there's an equalising goal. Sportybet sponsors coverage of the Italian Serie A.
Welcome back. President Bola Tinubu joins friends and family in celebration of Chief Afe Babalola, Chancellor of Afe Babalola University, who clocked 92 on October 30. In a statement by his special advisor, Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ingelali, the president felicitates with the legal luminary, businessman, educationist and philanthropist, whose visionary leadership, courage and versatility has impacted generations. The president wishes the Chancellor many more years and good health in service to humanity. All right, let's head to Jos to join Bilkisu. She will pick up from there.
Welcome to Jos.
In its continued efforts in promoting harmonious and peaceful coexistence amongst the diverse ethnic nationalities in Plateau State, the General Officer commanding 3 Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, has inaugurated additional committee members to implement the recommendations of the Joint Report on Peace in 7 local government areas of the state.
The committee was first inaugurated on the 12th of February 2022 due to the lingering communal crisis in Basa, Jos North and South local government areas. Owing to the successes recorded which reduced criminal activities in the areas, the Operation Safe Haven deemed it necessary to expand the number of members and coverage area for peace.
The committee's primary objective is to develop and implement a comprehensive action plan that addresses the root causes of conflict.
On its part, Plateau State government says there is no better moment to collaborate with OPSH as it is ready to give all the support needed to ensure the state becomes a safe haven for all.
The government of Barrister is out here to give a level playing field, to create the enabling environment so that peace can thrive on the planet. Our goal is to move Plateau State up in the Committee of States.
Messages from traditional rulers and transition committee chairmen harped on the need for the committee to redouble efforts in discharging their duty without fear or favor. The 55-member committee is headed by Justice Daniel Longji and will cover Barikin Ladi, Basa, Bokos, Mangu, Jos North and South and Riom local government areas. Similarly, a 17-man peace committee was also inaugurated by the GOC 3 Division to foster peace amongst the Fulani and Irigwe communities of Basa local government area.
Federal government says the significant breakthrough in the agricultural sector with the cultivation of wheat during rainy season will no doubt enhance food sufficiency in the country. This was at the first rain-fed wheat National Farmers Field Day in Jos by the Lake Chad Research Institute, Maiduguri. Saadatu Mohammed Kafa reports.
Wheat farming in the recent past was done through irrigation farming in the dry season. The Lake Chad Research Institute, which has the mandate to provide improved agricultural technologies through research and development for farmers, is in one of its experiment sites to showcase to wheat farmers that wheat can be cultivated twice a year.
Due to the priority given by the present administration, we show the results of the research that has been conducted for years, and also to demonstrate that we can be self-sufficient in wheat production in Nigeria.
Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari represented notes that with the diversification of agriculture, government will provide the enabling environment and support to wheat farmers to enhance food security.
Even in the developed world, where they are native to wheat production, they don't, grow wheat under 2 conditions. But in Nigeria, it's an advantage for us to grow wheat under irrigated condition and under rain-fed condition.
Farming wheat is the most easiest kind of farming that require less fertilizer, less weeding, less labor.
Governor Caleb Mufan represented urged participants to take advantage of the new technology, adding that Nigeria has all it takes to produce wheat for local consumption and exports.
Plateau is fertile and is ready to open up to all investors, and we hope to raise the bar in wheat production.
Other states capable of producing wheat twice annually include Obudu in Cross River State and Mabila Plateau in Taraba State. In Jos, Saadatu Mohammed Kafa, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Jos. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Bilkisu. And that's where we call it a day on Nationwide. Thank you very much for your company. Do have a pleasant evening. I'm Ruth, Aguele. Bye.